So what I wanted to take a little time to talk about here in this video is specifically about how therapy and EMDR therapy in particular has made me a stronger, better dominant. It's made me a stronger and better man. And this is something that men in general and in particular seem to have a real challenge with. Because on one hand, all of us as men are wounded. We're hurt. We were hurt when we were children. We were hurt by a lifetime of things that just didn't go the way that we thought they were going to. And it causes pain. But when we don't deal with that pain, we're carrying it around with us. It's there in every single breath we take. It's affecting everything that we do. And from an unhealed place, that pain feels like weakness because it hurts. And so we think that in order to be strong, we have to avoid the pain. We have to try to work around it. We have to try to somehow find a way to be strong in spite of the pain. But what I've been able to do through really investing myself in healing is recognize and understand that that pain can be healed rather than avoided. And yes, healing the pain, working through it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But what sucks even more is spending a whole life living in avoidance of something that happened 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Because every time that something gets too close to that, that's when you get anxious. That's when you get tense. It's when you maybe lash out in anger, or when you turn to numbing devices like substances or video games or your phone or whatever it is. So this pain can be healed rather than avoided, and it can be healed so that it doesn't have to constantly activate us. And if what we want is to be doms, if we want to be dominant, we have to do something so that we feel dominant, so that we feel strong, and so that we are strong, rather than just acting like it. Because a submissive woman will never, ever be able to truly relax. She'll never be able to truly let go. For someone who has not captured and gained and taken control of his inner world. She's always going to feel like something's off because it is. And it's often all of us. But the thing that EMDR therapy has really done for me and allowed me to do, it's allowed me to experience, and many, many, many other people that I've personally worked with and suggested this to, it's allowed me to heal that pain by going into it one more time with this particular methodology, with this particular modality of therapy that doesn't require a whole lot of talking about it. You know, if you're somebody who has been avoiding therapy because you don't want to talk about your problems, EMDR is your jam, buddy, because it doesn't require a lot of talking about it and verbal processing. Now, I'm not going to go into the mechanics of EMDR therapy here because I'm not a medical professional. What I'm sharing with you is anecdotal advice and evidence that I don't get triggered anymore, guys. I don't get upset. I don't get anxious. I don't get stressed out. I feel okay all the time. All the time. And there's nothing that feels more dominant. There's nothing that feels stronger in me than living a life where I'm not trying to avoid pain. Because that's what really feels weak. All of your anger, all of your lashing out, all of your shutdown, all of these triggered reactions, that's your weakness. And you don't get to be strong by avoiding them. You get to be strong by not being able to be triggered anymore. And that's why this therapy thing, even though it's going to suck, like, let's admit it, it's going to suck. But it can suck one more time rather than sucking every single day sucking the life out of you, sucking the energy out of you, putting you into a state where you are being triggered and reactive to your woman and causing her to shut down and pull back or lash out back at you. This is maturity in the way that we relate with each other. Being able to heal ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to look inward, to sort out what the fuck is going on with me. And then to be able to bring a whole, solid, healed self to your partner where you can then feel dominant and you can ask anything of her from a place that's not needy. It's not trying to avoid your pain. It's not trying to get something from her to get validation for this wounded inner hurt little boy energy that you're carrying around. This is true strength, and the only way to find it is by working on yourself, by doing deep inner work. And that's why EMDR has been so powerful for me and so many other men. I really hope that any man who wants to lead a submissive woman in her life and wants it's asking her to let go of control will take the time to look at himself and heal himself so that he can bring a solid, loving version of himself to that relationship.